Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum, good evening, and welcome to Get to Know Us Encom Series Session 2, Talk with Alumni. My name is Nurul Hamizatul Ain, second year first semester student of Encom, and I will be your host for this session. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us tonight. We are very pleased to be able to welcome those of you who are eager to get to know us. Some of the viewers are high school students, SPM leavers, IIUM students, and even others from different universities. Before we get started, there are a few ground rules that we will practice here in this talk. First, don't forget to fill in the registration and evaluation form. You can find it on the chat box. They will pin the message there. Number two, make a full use of the chat box. Tell us your opinions, feedbacks, questions, etc. in the chat box because we love to see interactions from our viewers. Number three, questions will be answered later during the Q&A session at 10 p.m. And number four, remember to always be kind, use a polite word, and keep the mannerism. Now, before we jump into the discussion, I would like to introduce our speakers for tonight. Two outstanding alumni from Encom, or what Brother Hasbullah has said during his session this morning, the epitome of product from Encom. First, we have Brother Muhammad Izzat bin Zabba with us. Thank you very much, Brother Izzat, for spending your time with us. There you go. That is Brother Izzat. A brief introduction about Brother Izzat. He was a subcommittee for IIUM Students Representative Council SRC for 4 consecutive years. He went for KLM exchange program in South Korea, graduated in 2019, and worked under Malaysia Tourism Ministry for 1 year. Currently, he is doing a preparation course in Korean language for 1 year at Sokyong University. He is also a KGSP awardee, Korean Government Scholarship Program. So fun fact that Brother Izzat told me during the rehearsal night about his university, about Sokyong University, South Korea, is that the fact that Sokyong University is very famous as a shooting place for a lot of K-drama. For example, Penthouse. Am I correct, Brother Izzat? Penthouse. I Am Not a Robot. And if you are a K-drama fans, you're gonna recognize that there are a lot of same shooting scene in different K-drama. So moving on. Second, we have Brother Muhammad Yusran bin Muhammad Rosman. He was one of the recipients for Best Student Award for 2 years in a row, obtained IIUM Academy Excellence Award in 2017. He was chosen to represent Malaysia as a Youth Ambassador in SHIP for Southeast Asian and Japanese Youth Program 2019. Brother Yusran received 3-month industrial training at ASEAN Malaysia National Secretariat in Social Cultural Division. Currently, he is working as a research assistant at Faculty of Economics and Administration, University Malaya. So, the purpose of this talk is to help us students on how to balance academics and co-curriculum. I'm sure all of us want to achieve an excellent score or even first class degree, but nowadays, especially in this current situation while we are staying in pandemic, even with the perfect CGPA, it is hard to survive in the real life working situation, as there are many competitors and more skillful, talented people around us. We need to equip ourselves well with unique skill that can increase our employability for future employees. Referring to that, I think we have the perfect speakers as they were among the excellent students, not only in academic but also in co-curriculum. Talking about co-curriculum achievement, we will also discuss this further with our respected guests. Not enough with that, we will also talking about involving in work experience, especially for students majoring in language and communication related field. So I guess I talked a lot for introduction. So now let us welcome the speakers as they may introduce themselves now. So please, Brother Yusran and Brother Izzat.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, so my name is Yusran. Everyone can call me Yus. So I'm just a regular alumni. I was a student in UIA, and I was born in Terengganu actually. but I was raised in Sri Lanka. So I'll try my best to speak BM here and there, but if I'm sorry for any kekurangan. And also, I apologize in advance for my slides because I just created my slides earlier this evening. So I hope you guys will be able to learn something today, and I hope you guys will become more empowered. Thank you.
Okay. 안녕하세요. 저는 무하마드 이잘이라고 합니다. 저는 소kyong에서 지금 한국어를 공부하고 있습니다. 반갑습니다. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to everyone. Selamat petang, good evening to all Malaysians and to all people around the world that watching us tonight. So my name is Izzat Lakbar. Like Ain said, I graduated from Kuliah of Languages and Management from IIUM, International Islamic University, Malaysia. I did my internship at International Affairs Office at IIUM Gombak campus, and then work at Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture Malaysia for 1 year. And currently, I'm studying in Korea for my master degree.
All right, so that was a brief introduction from both our speakers. I just want to say that was a great opportunity that Brother Izzat had got furthering his studies in Korea. I mean, it's everyone's dream, right? So without further ado, I think we can jump straight into our session tonight. So our session will be divided into 5 topics. First, we're going to talk about academics and co-curriculum. Second, we're going to talk about youth leadership and exchange program. Third, we're going to talk about Malaysian Youth Ambassador for SHIP for Southeast Asian, or the nama pendek dia, short name is SAYAP. Fourth, about Korean government scholarship program scholar, and also lastly about working in government ministry, since both of them had experience working with government ministry. So first topic, we're gonna talk about academics and co-curriculum. So as you all of us can see from the poster itself, that why CGPA is not everything. So to both of the speakers, both of you mentioned that CGPA is not everything. What do you mean by that? Isn't it very important as a student to maintain the CGPA?
Can I go first?
Sure, you can.
Okay, I would like to make a disclaimer before any netizens attack me regarding that statement. So basically, I'm not saying that, don't go to university, don't finish your study, just drop out and then, do business and you become a billionaire, millionaire or something. No. Drop that mindset. So what I'm saying is that CGPA is not everything, is that, having a solid, like, for example, 4.0 pointer doesn't guarantee you a good life, doesn't guarantee you're going to land at a great job, a great workplace after graduation. No, just because you have 4.0 pointer doesn't mean that every company or like a great company can take you, etc., etc. So it means to say that academic and curriculum need to go side by side. So as a student, you need to. Okay, I love this quote. I love this. Malay have its own like sentiments with words. So like in Malay, university student, we call them mahasiswa. So in English, it's just university students, but in Malay, it has this kind of like a strong sense to it, to this word, mahasiswa. When I hear mahasiswa, it's a big word. It's to differentiate you and other people outside there that didn't have the opportunity to go to university is that as a mahasiswa, we need to do more, it's not just going to class and then do homework and then go to cafe, etc., and then finish. No, in Malaysia, we have this kind of like famous saying, like, don't be mahasiswa 3K, don't be mahasiswa 3K. The K referring to class, class, and then kuliah, which is lecture, and then katil, which is bad. Like, if you keep this routine, like wake up in the morning, and then you go to class, and then after class you went to the cafe, and then you went straight to the bed, and then repeat the next day. This is what we meant by mahasiswa TK. Like there's nothing significant or nothing impact that he or she did to society. So as a mahasiswa, as a university student, we need to start learning how to make change and give back to the society. How are we going to do that? We're nobody. We're not minister. We're not presidents of the United States. We don't have power. We don't have military behind us. No, 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 no. We can start small by joining uh programs like even like this conducted a program, because this gonna help this mahasiswa, the university students, to prepare them for their future, for their career, to develop their own soft skills, etc., etc. So I'm very glad that I had the opportunity to study at IIM Gombak back then, before COVID happened. Before COVID happened, IIM Gombak is famously known as the campus. We have this. We call IIM Gombak as the garden of knowledge and virtue. So like when I studied at IIM Gombak campus, they have programs like every single night, like 7 days a row. Like if I can just decide, okay, on Monday I want to go to this forum. On second day I want to watch people debate. On this day I want to watch, like it's every day. It's every single. I was very lucky to had the opportunity to study there during my first year until my third year. And since then I developed my passions and developed my soft skill. So I joined Students Representative Council as the subcommittee for 4 years. 4 years, and then from there I start to develop my leadership skills, my public speaking skills, but my networking skills, and I fell in love with my favorite field, which is public relations. So yeah, that's why I said that CGPA is not everything, but doesn't mean that CGPA is not important. So you know my take on this is that curriculum and academic need to walk side by side.
That was an interesting answer from Brother Izzat. So let's move on to Brother Yusran. Since you are awarded with Best Student, so what is your take about this point of view?
Okay, well, Brother Izzat mentioned most of the things that I wanted to say, and I want to preface this by saying that me, as someone who is has been awarded with best students, I take care of my CGPA. Okay, so CGPA is important, but it's only a number, and it only at most it shows like that you can study well, that you're able to memorize, maybe that you're able to have good commitment. So in that sense, CGPA is important because it can display that. For example, if you put it in a resume, right, and if the person only sees your CGPA, they only see a number of you. They don't know like your kind of person. They don't know what you did. They don't know how you are outside of studying. So I feel that CGPA reduces an individual to a mere number, and it doesn't encompass what the individual actually has inside him. But that is to say again, and this is from my supervisor. My supervisor, I actually asked this to my supervisor. My supervisor actually told me that CGPA is important because the company will take it as a sign that you're a committed person. And it also depends on what you want to further your life in. For example, if you want to become an academician, then CGPA is important because it enables you to get scholarships, and it may be able to get you grants and a lot of things that revolve around academia. So it is important in that sense. But what I mean by it's not everything is that it doesn't explain the true you. So it's only it's a small dimension of what a human being is capable of. And to me, the CGPA highly reflects you inside the classroom, not outside. So that's my take on it. It's important, but it's not everything.
Okay, so I guess both of our speakers have the same view regarding this question. Okay, so let's move on to the second question. What pushes both of you to be actively involved in co-curriculum? What is your motivation? So I guess we will go with Brother Yusran first.
Can we go with Brother Izzat first? I want to set the slides. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, nak tiru later. Don't copy my answer. Okay, so what pushed me to be involved in curriculum, is it? Okay, so
Yes, what
basically
pushes you?
okay, I take us all back to I think 2013. That was the time when I was in CFS, Center for Foundation Studies, IOM, in Petaling Jaya, Selangor, Malaysia, truly Asia. So, so okay, back then, so I graduated from high school. I graduated from secondary school in 2012. So I studied in Terengganu. You know, it's a state in Malaysia, which is famously known as a rural state. You know, it's not a big city like Kuala Lumpur, like New York, etc. It's village. You know, it's kampung. So when I got my placement at IIM, I had to go through the foundation level first, CFS, Center for Foundation Studies, at Petaling Jaya. So when I went there, it was a bit culture shock, like a lot of aspect culture shock that I had to face. One thing is that I saw this LRT, this subway. Wow, people take subway, and then wow, people can go to cinema. Wow, something like that. It was so like an adventurous, and at the same time, alhamdulillah, thank God, I got the opportunity to join and expose about this, this what we call like volunteerism thingy, join this kind of thing, etc., etc. So thanks to my best friend, his name is Alimin. He was my roommate back then in CFS in 2013. So he went to this USRO, USRO. USRO is like a it's like a circle. It'd be like circle family, something like that. It's a religious NGO, yeah, it's a NGO punya meeting lah. We call it Lusro. It talk about um our opinions and stuff, blah 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 blah. So I saw him like few nights, like he went, he wore baju Melayu, he wore kopiah, songkok, etc. When outside after Maghrib. So I was like, where are you going? Like so suspicious. Do you have a date or something? And then he said that, oh, I have Usra. So I was like, what is Usra? I'm bored anyway, so take me there. And then when I went there, it was Usra under PKPIM, Persatuan Kebangsaan Pelajar Islam Malaysia. So I fell in love with the Usra because they talk about like intellectual thingy, and then we can discuss, and I can learn from people, like they talk about an issue, and then they discuss, and then we can give opinion, etc., etc. So from there I start to join PKPIM, and then from there, and then they open me to many opportunities. And from there, I joined programs that led me to meet with public figures just like Mat Luffy. And then I met with our one of our member parliament, YB Nur Isa Anwar. And then I was the moderator for interviewing the Ahmad Ammar, the late Ahmad Ammar, the Malaysian students who passed away in Turkey. I met them, the parents, and then I met with our sastrawan negara, Selamat saya, etc., etc. So from there, I developed this passion. Like wow, like I like to meet public figures, not because to take selfies and then post, hello, I met this person, this person. No, 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 because there's this saying that if someone knowledgeable come to your town, don't miss the opportunity to meet them and ask them the knowledge that they have. So this is the what the saying that I've been holding on. Like all the public figures, they are famous for something. Well, of course, you know which public figures you're following. So it was like, as I say, like he's famously known also of his greatness in writing, etc. And then the parents of late Ahmad Ammar, I want to know like the side of story of how did Ahmad Ammar study in Turkey and his contribution, etc., etc. So meeting public figures is like me wanting to know, wanting them to share with me the knowledge that they have. So this passion in me developed since then in 2013. And then, but then in 2013, okay, and then when I moved to Gombak campus, the main campus for degree students, it was a heaven for me because programs every single night, etc., etc. So, but I have to admit that another thing that motivate me is because of Star Point. It's a merit system that we have for students. if they join curricular activities. So, I was like, if I see any advertisement in WhatsApp group or in Facebook post saying that, oh, tonight we have a forum conducted by this club, blah, 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 there will be two things that I will look for. First one, if the program will give me star point, merit for my curricular activities. Second one is if the program provide any refreshment, because, who doesn't like free food? So, yeah, that's how it started. And by then, yeah, it was kind of like not ikhlas, not sincere, but you know, we all started not sincere at first, kan, and then lama-lama tu baru we become sincere. So yeah, and yeah, I love to join program. Thank you.
Okay, ready, is fine. You go. Yeah.
All right, let me just share my screen quickly. Okay. Is it working? Can you guys see it? Okay. Hello? Anyone there? Sorry, it's not showing like... Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so as a great ninja once said, it's to test the limits of my abilities. Okay, so what I mean by that is that ever since I was in school, right? Like I've always been a studious kid. Like I've always been getting, I got good grades for my IGCSEs and everything, but I felt like something was missing. It felt like something was missing from my life, and I was missing out on it. So that's why I set my goal of when I enter the university, I'll keep studying hard, that's important. But at the same time, I want to explore out there because I know that from reading the books, you only get a small percentage of the knowledge that's actually in real life. So that's why I wanted to join as many programs as I could handle. And it was so that I could not only learn from the outside world, but also because I'll be able to understand my capacity, like so that I know my limits. And more importantly, I want to break those limits. So yeah, I want to go beyond the classrooms, and I know that out there's so many things that can be learned. For example, right, in classrooms, maybe you can judge a person's body language, a person's ability to speak inside, during a presentation, right? But and maybe like if you interact with your friends, that's also another thing. But out there, it's like the wilderness. It's like you're put in a situation where you have no control, and the university environment is a control. Out there is no control. So I would also want to know like how I would be able to adapt and fit myself in the real world, because I know that when I present in front of a whiteboard, for example, it'll be totally different than presenting in front of a board of investors, for example. And like if I were to be interviewed for something, it would also be different from my interactions with my lecturers or things like that. Like the kind of questions, the kind of things that they ask you. The outside world is vast, and I wanted a taste of that. And lastly, also because I wanted to understand humans more. I felt like in classrooms I was only able to understand a portion or a part of the like how humans interact or how humans behave. And that's a major point of joining programs. You get to see them in a different condition, as they would say. So, okay, throughout joining programs, I would say that with more and more experience in joining programs, you actually get to learn, and you see a sort of pattern. Once you get exposed for the first time, for example, like you might get a bit of a shock. Like, why is this guy acting this way? Why is he so rude? Why is he so upset with me? So things like that. But once you join more and more programs, you actually subconsciously incorporate what you observe, and you sort of develop a subconscious SOP. It's like what you should do in this situation, what you should not do in this situation. And you can only learn that from actually making mistakes, or when you actually see other people make mistakes out there. Because in the classroom, it's very controlled. I told you, out there, it's unexpected. So when you actually join programs, you actually learn how to deal with things that are unexpected as well. And of course, the things, like you learn about other people, But more importantly, I feel that joining programs actually allow you to learn more about yourself, because you'll be able to understand how much you can cope with certain stress, how much you're able to, let's say, handle the amount of work in a given time, how much you'll be able to multitask, and how well you'll be able to delegate tasks. All these things, you get a more comprehensive understanding once you join programs outside. And of course, one of the most important thing for me for joining programs is that I'll understand what I like. You'll also understand what you're inclined to, and you sort of like, because most of the people that are in the university years, they're youths, right? They're still looking for themselves. They're still looking for what they want to do in life. So by joining programs, you actually understand what you might be interested in, and what other things or the work that can be available for you out there, and you can start planning your way and strategize of what you want to do in the coming future. You'll also know what's important to you, and this is a significant point that I'll come back to later. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Birdie. So I guess you're suggesting us, the student, to be both smart and also street smart. Am I right?
Well, yeah, technically it should be a balanced
Uh,
thing.
yeah. Okay. That was great. That was a great answer from both of you. Okay. So the thing is, ever since I enrolled in Encom in KLM, I see not many of male students there. So it brings me to have this one thought, but I guess I just have to keep it to myself. But now, I guess I want to ask this: what's your opinion about my thought? My thought is, I have this thought about um male who pursue his studies in language and communication related field, because in Asian stereotypes, male, they were forced, or they were encouraged to do something like engineering, medical, hands-on course. So um whenever when I enroll to Pago, when I go to Pago, there are many of male there. So but the male students there give me this one idea, like, how can this guy are interested to pursue in language and communication related field, like what brings them to go there, to further their study there. Because Asian stereotype, parents usually go for engineering, go for medical. So I guess this is the right time to ask both of you your opinion about my thought, about my idea about that. So
Can I
please.
go first? Can I go first, please? Can I go
Yeah,
first?
sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So talking about this, okay. So I need to explain first what is Encom. So Encom is a short form for our courses, our major in bachelor degree, which is English for International Communication. But it's the long name is Bachelor of Arts, in bracket honors in English for International Communication. So it's one of the courses that is offered under the Faculty of Languages and Management at International Islamic University Malaysia, Pago. So I'm promoting my courses. Okay, so regarding what Ayn said just now, like she was surprised knowing that there are some boys in language courses. Well, I don't blame her. Some people have that mindset, that assumptions to it, that courses with dealing with languages is full of women, full of female students, etc., etc. So mm, my take on this is that courses or jobs, most of the jobs, they shouldn't be tied with the gender, unless it's biological. For example, uh, uh, a woman, like our mother can only deliver baby because biologically our mother is woman. So yeah, if it's biologically, if it's related biologically, then it can tie to gender. If it's not biologically, for me, this is my opinion. it shouldn't be tied to gender. So if you say that, okay, man, be an engineer, be a doctor, and so on, it's so weird to see male students in languages, etc. It shouldn't be like that because, anything feel shouldn't be tied by gender. So let me take you to, I don't know, 1,000 years ago or decades ago. So we see Plato. We see, okay. The most famous one in Nusantara, in Asia is, in ASEAN, I might say, Hamka from Indonesia. So Hamka, he himself was a man, he is famously known as a great poet. Like when I was in standard six, when I was 12 years old, I read Hamka books. Like a lot of poets, a lot of poets. When my crush rejected me, I was like looking for quotes from Hamka that can, make my heart at ease. It was man. So and we have Shakespeare. Like who doesn't know William Shakespeare? Like Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, Summer's Night Dream, he was also a man. So it was not related whether or not this language is tied to a gender, to a specific gender. I would like to recommend to all of you, if you have time, please watch this great Bollywood movie. It's an Indian movie, Hindustan movie, one of my current new favorite. They call it Gunjan Saxena. So it's based on the true story. Gunjan Saxena, she was a woman. I'm not sure whether she's still alive or not, but this movie made based on her inspiring true story. So she was born in a family, and then when she was a little, she she rode a plane, an aeroplane, and then she got the opportunity to visit the flight, the pilot cockpit, the pilot's room where they fly the aeroplane. So since then, she fell in love with the occupation. She wanted to be a pilot, but back then, I think in 1980s, that was her time, I guess. Back then, it was not typical, like girls only, okay, married and then settle down, become a housewife, or work at the clothes boutique, etc., etc. So girly, etc., etc. So when she said that she wanted to be a pilot, her mother was against her. Like, oh, want to be a pilot? Why? Like, you're a girl, you're a woman. But then her dad was very supportive. Her dad was, you can be whatever you want. And then it was a true story. And if you follow the story, Gujan Saxena, she became a pilot, helicopter pilot. Uh, I'm not sure the specific word is chopper, etc., but it was a helicopter. And she was involved in the Kargil War, one of the most important war in Indian history. So she became a respected woman, where she faced difficulty and discrimination when she was in the army, in the air force, to train herself to be a cockpit, a helicopter pilot, because everyone was like, why is this woman, here? And she faced like very difficulty, like because she was smart, and then there was her subordinate were men, so they don't even want to walk in front of her, because why? They are afraid to give her salute, so they feel like their dignity will be, I don't know, like humiliated to salute a woman because of her ranking. So I was so angry, because I'm all about woman empowerment and youth empowerment. For me, it doesn't matter what your gender is. If you have the capability to do something, do it. If you have, like, I always tell my juniors, in my campus, if like they join a club, a student club or student society, if they have capability to become the president of the club, be one. I don't want this kind of like gender related thing. Okay, girls, okay, you can be the secretary, write notes, take minutes, write the letter, blah blah blah. Okay, girls, and you will be working under the food and catering bureau, be like a makcik canteen, makcik cafe. This old lady that taking care of the cafe. I was like, no, if you have the capability to be a president, to lead another students, be it. So as long as it's not biologically, you can be whatever you want. So yeah.
Okay. Fun facts. All officers in Office of Encom our women, our girls. We
Yes,
don't,
girl
we
power.
don't we don't have any male members in office of Encom, so I guess that is one of the things that contribute to that we are comfortable with each other. But that doesn't mean that I am not, or all the rest of us are not comfortable. But it's just that things happen. All women in office of Encom. So, brother Yusran, do you have any opinion about this?
Okay, I don't want to go too deep into it because I'm not an expert in gender studies, but I do know for a fact that like the ratio of females to male are like 3 to 1, if I'm not mistaken, especially in higher education in Malaysia. So and also because gender how do you say, like gender topics are triggering, so I would rather not say much about it. But if you like what you know study, and go for it. But most of the times, like the statistics you see, it's also a result of the environment, and like the pressures of, and expectations and the norm. So that's my take on the question.
Okay, I guess that are the question also answers for the first topic of our discussion. So right now we are going to the round two of our discussion, which is we're going to talk about youth leadership and exchange programs. So both Brother Izzat and Brother Yusran were actively involved in exchange program during their studies in IIUM. So tell us about your experience joining youth leadership and also exchange related programs. Which program? How did you find about it? Everything. Tell us everything. Spill the tea to us because we need to know about this. So the floor is yours.
Okay, should we start separately or like we can start simultaneously?
Uh, who maybe one of you wants to go first,
Yeah,
or
actually, because I have my slides up, maybe I can show first.
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
Okay, great.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. Okay. So can you guys see it? No. No.
Yes, yes, we can see it.
Okay. Sorry. It's because like when it's open up, I cannot see you guys. Okay. So what Sister I mentioned just now is like things about leadership and youth exchange programs and programs in general, right? So like this is one of the programs that me and Izzat joined in 2018, and it's called Leadership Energy Summit Asia. It's by Eclipse Leadership and Governance Center. So basically, a lot of the programs that me and Izzat joined, a lot of it are volunteering programs. Like we were given tasks, including to become liaison officers, to facilitate, like these businessmen, the senior executives, and because we were involved in this program, we also managed to actually go inside and actually get the content, because like one of the opportunities of joining events is that you are able to participate as well. So for this one, for example, it's like the tickets for one event is like $1,000 plus. So this is an example of a perks, and one of the example of the program I wanted to show you. But in terms of starting out with a program, Izzat also introduced me to this program. It's called Malaysia International Youth Exchange. Okay, so back in 2018, me and Izzat decided to join under, I think it was the NGO called PKPIM. They were looking for volunteers to help with the programs to handle the Asian delegates. So back then I was really new. Like I didn't even know what KBS was. And for y'all that don't know, KBS stands for Kementerian Belia dan Sukan, which is Ministry of Youth and Sports. So back then, like I was a noob back then. I didn't know anything about programs, but I was so grateful that I was given this opportunity. And it was also a collaboration with the Malaysian Youth Council, which is Majlis Belia Malaysia, and NGO, who are who are the ones who are leading in terms of youth bodies and stuff like that. So we did a lot of things, and it was kind of tiring, but at the same time, it was fulfilling because we were communicating with people that we've never communicated before, and it's different when you communicate with people who are in Malaysia and who are of international, and those who like legit came from their own country and legit just interact with you. It's a new experience, I would say. Okay, so this is one of, like, among the programs that we did. We did a lot of team building, a lot of critical thoughts as well. It was collaborated by One World here, like these two couples. They're also the ones who, like, who taught us a lot about leadership as well. They told us about VUCA. Like, you can Google that up. They taught about. They brought speakers who were able to, like, who are youths themselves, who has done a lot of things, and we were introduced to a lot of things. And also, like, the program itself, we brought the people, the international people, to Kampung. I think it was Negeri Sembilan. I forgot the Kampung name, but we introduced them to the Malaysian way of life at the Kampung, and it was really heartwarming, I would say, because, like, they were very excited. Even, like, seeing a rambutan, they were like, oh my gosh, and they were crazy for durian. That's the thing. I don't know if it's expensive in their country or whatever, but it's a unique experience. And me and Izzat at the time, we were also licensed officers for this event. Like, the executive committee told us that we had to take care of delegates from a certain country. For me, I got Singapore. For Izzat, I'm not. Was it Philippines? I don't remember.
Philippines. Mahal
Philippines,
na mahal
yes.
kita. Yeah, Philippines.
Right. So it gave us an exposure to a different setting. And, like, even at that time, even though, like, I had an international background, even I was taken aback because it was sort of like a different culture. But it was fun. It was fun. And then, fast forward, I did some gotong royong program with fellow Perdana. I'll explain about fellow Perdana later. And what I wanted to emphasize is we started small by small. Like, when we join programs, we don't straight away go into a leadership position, like into a presidency or anything. In order to become a leader, you have to become a good follower first, so that you'll be able to understand what each committee members and what people who are working under you may experience, so that you may become an effective leader, I would say. Back last year, right? No, not last year. 2 years ago, in 2019. I was given the position of the press and media, and then it was a new experience for me. But, like, thankfully, everything went fine. It could be better, but maybe we also did a good job because we built websites and stuff like that. And also, we joined this thing called Southeast Asian Regional Center for Counterterrorism, CSI. They're actually an agency under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or Wisma Putra. So we did a lot of content creation, and even at this time, they split us into groups, right? So people were looking for leaders. So I said, why not? Since I have experience in creating videos and stuff, why not? So little by little, like, we learn as we go along, but at the same time, we also learn from those who are above us. And back to last year, during my internship, right? I was quite busy with my internship because I was at Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but that did not stop me from joining a program. We actually joined a program called a University Startup Challenge. It was by Magic, which is under the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation, right? So, it was a business pitch challenge. And even though, like, I was busy, I still made the effort to try to continue. And for that, we were rewarded. Although we didn't win the first prize or anything, we won top 5 out of, like, 100 plus startups, and with even more applicants before that. So, like, it just goes to show that, if you start small, it'll become a snowball effect, and you'll be getting a lot more experience out there, and a lot more things that you can do, and a lot more leadership experience. So that's it for now. Maybe, yeah, Izzat can add on.
To clarify, when Yusran said we, it means he and his team. Okay, so and can you repeat in brief what are your questions?
Oh, my question. Okay, the question is, tell us your experience joining youth leadership and exchange related programs. Which programs, and also how did you find out about all of these programs that you participated in?
Sure. So I don't have a slide, so I'm just gonna, okay, everyone use your imagination and let's, like SpongeBob said, imagine. Okay, so Like I said, I started in when I was in CFS, Center for Foundation Studies. From there, and then wait a minute.
Technical
Okay.
issue.
Wait a minute. Wait a second.
After Izzat speaks, I want to talk just for a little bit more, okay? Or like while he's talking, maybe I can also talk a bit. So basically, like a lot of the programs that we join, it's a connection. You know, like we found out from one program and it leads to another. But Izzat will explain this as well.
Okay, so I started in CFS, right, Center for Foundation Studies, and then I continued to my main campus, Gombak campus, which is the degree campus for IIUM students. So from there, because like I said, IIUM Gombak campus, I mean IIUM in general, is known as the garden of knowledge and virtue. So it's like every night there's a lot of programs, forums, debate, uh, theater, or any kind of programs, performance, etc., etc. So, and when you live in an era where smartphones is the number one thing with you all the time, so like promotions everywhere, like advertisement, like as a student, I was in a lot of WhatsApp group, WhatsApp group for subject A, for B, C, D, E. So every day the group will be spam with a lot of program, which is a good thing. I don't like spam when people spam, like virus or blah 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 blah. But they spam with this a lot of programs. Okay, there's a program at this faculty tonight. There's a program for at this faculty tonight. Blah 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 blah. So I start to join those program one by one, and then I start to join subcommittee as a subcommittee under the Students Representative Council. In Malay, we call it Majlis Perwakilan Pelajar as a subcommittee for 4 years. Funny thing is that I didn't remember that I signed up for it. Until now, I didn't know whether I signed up for it and then I forgot or someone else put my name and then, yeah, I don't know, but thank God, I got accepted. And for 4 years, I was under the Student Representative Council as the subcommittee. From there, I learned from my boss, my Student Representative Council leader. They taught me a lot. I was under Bureau, Education Bureau, and then under Public Relations Bureau, etc., etc. So I learned from there, to develop my leadership skills, public speaking skills, etc., etc. So, and then I have this kind of like a principle, whenever I go to any programs, whenever I go to any kind of programs, I must make a connection. I must do networking with 5 new people at least. So when you go to a program, right, there's a lot of participants, like there might be 30. If you go to conference, 100, 200, 500, etc. So you don't have time, you don't have the energy to remember all their names, to do networking with all of them, the thousands, 500, etc., etc. So my principle is that quality over quantity. So minimum 5 people. So whenever I go to program, I make a lot of people, throughout the day. Like for example, if the program starts in the morning, so I make friends with this person, minimum 5 people. And then if I compatible with them, at the end of the day, I was like, oh, can I have your Instagram, blah blah, and then we keep in touch until then. And then because we share the same passion, which is youth empowerment, we would like to join programs to develop our soft skills and to add new knowledge, to learn experience, to meet public figures, etc. They will post, oh, I'm going to attend to this program. Who wants to join me? So from there, like user said, it's a snowball effect. And then, yeah, it's something like that because like I met someone from program A, and then we exchange our contacts, Instagram and stuff. And then this person going to join another program like a seminar, conference or something, and there's an empty slot. And then she or he knows that I'm into this kind of thing, and he or she PM me, send a message me on my social media and say, oh, are you free on this date? Do you want to join? So that's how you do networking. It's not friends for benefits. It's make new friends that share the same passion as you and want to share. It's like give and take, like, okay, I have another program, so I'm gonna promote to you, and then when you have another program, promote to me, so we can together develop our soft skills and then make networking with new people, etc., etc. So yeah, whenever you join program, make yourself like promise yourself to do networking with at least 5 people. Okay, I know currently, it's a COVID era, so I don't want to disappoint, or I don't want people to feel like, oh, how I'm going to, develop my soft skill. I'm going to be mahasiswa 3K. I'm going to be just university students, go to class and then go back to his room and then go to the cafe because there's no program because of, social distancing, cannot do programs. It's online classes from home, etc. No, don't lose hope because nowadays, thank God people keep adapting with the new current situation. Like they make forums like this, the current we are doing it. And then for those that have iPhones, have you heard of Clubhouse? Don't just join celebrity night talk, etc., etc. There's a lot of good Clubhouse, like CEOs like Vivi Yusuf, or like what politician like, yeah, Izanwar or something. You can find them, like find content on the Clubhouse that you like. For those that use iPhone, I use Android, so I'm consider our session tonight as a Clubhouse. I call it a Clubhouse. Okay, so do that, find that. And then if I must share, you can find also programs from international or NGO pages on social media. Uh, for those in Malaysia, you can follow KBS, not Korean broadcast station where I here in Seoul. No, it's a Kementerian Belia dan Sukan. Maybe you can go to youthopportunities.com sites to find online programs, etc., etc. The thing is effort. Find people that has the same passion as you to empower themselves. Youth empowerment. Find those people that so active, and then find them, ask them to teach you. Like I said before, dear, it's such a waste when someone that is knowledgeable come to your town and you didn't ask him or her a question, or to share a bit of knowledge. So yeah, do networking.
Okay,
Can I add a bit more?
go ahead.
Okay, I'm trying to share the screen, but it's not allowing me to share the PowerPoint. But I'm going to share the whole screen, okay? Okay, so this is something that is like, I'm going to give you guys a cheat sheet. So these are the kind of things that you can join. Okay, maybe later you can come back and screenshot it, or you can come back to the video later. Basically, like, these are the IG pages that you can follow that regularly posts programs and interesting international exchanges, or but right now it'll be like webinars. These are the accounts that I suggest you guys follow. This is just like a small percentage of it, but this is something that I follow. So if you like it, please feel free. And the
Screenshot.
one thing, yeah, screenshot. The thing that I want to mention though is like, the reason why we encourage you guys to to not directly jump into a huge program, and instead to start small, is because of the experience that you bring along the way will actually help you. And like, we don't want you guys to suddenly join a huge program and then suddenly, like, you guys have a huge culture shock. You don't know what to do. Your mental health might get affected in a way as well. So that's why I think, like, it's better to start small first. Volunteer for small programs first. Once you get a rough idea of what other people are doing, how they lead, how they work, then you move on to the big programs. But basically, like Izad said, like, once we join one program and we get to know another people, they'll tell us, like, if we follow them on Instagram, they'll post it on their stories, for example. And that's one source of where you can find programs. For me, for example, I'm going to talk about SayUp later, but basically it was from that 2018 event, the Malaysian International Youth Exchange. That was what opened me to SayUp in the end, roughly 1 year later, maybe 1 year plus later. So basically, like, the committee there, her name is Kak B, and I also know Iqbal Rosli, he's in Benel. They actually, I didn't know they were actually alumni of this program yet. It was only after the second event, the second program that I joined, that they also advertised inside the group. They're like, hey, you guys want to join this as a volunteer? It's called LESA, the one that I showed you guys before. So from that Leadership Energy Summit Asia, they sort of like, explained a little bit, and I got curious. I asked them, what's this program that you guys joined? How do you guys know each other so well. So that was when they actually, started describing what the program that they entered was, and I got to know about SEAP. I got to know about what they did, the things that the things that they look for these participants, and 1 year later, when the applications came out from KBS, Kementerian Belia dan Sukan, I just applied for it, and I didn't know I would get it or not, but because of all the experience I had beforehand from Malaysian International Youth Exchange, from LESA, from all the other programs, it helped me to be able to get selected for this program. So I don't want you guys to join a huge program first. Once you apply, and then they see that you don't have much to offer. They see that you don't have as much experience, and then they reject you, and then you feel down. That's not what we want to do. We want you guys to have a strong, solidified footing first, so that when you go apply, you'll have a higher chance. So that's why I suggest you guys to start small first and then make your way up. The longer and the more experienced you are in it, the higher chance you'll be able to go for huge events. Trust me. Okay, thank you.
So I
Okay,
would like to can I make a clarification? Okay, I would like to make a quick clarification. Maybe some of you guys will ask like, okay, which program that I shouldn't join first, or which program should I join first? At least start somewhere. If you want to know that, okay, if the program has like maybe a big criteria to join, that means it is the big program that you must have prior experience before joining them. So like I said, in order for you guys to keep having this information of programs, you have to do networking whenever you go to programs. Like I said, make sure you do networking with at least 5 people to every program that you join. So I want to share a little bit of stories. I went to this program under PwC. It was in 2019, I guess, before COVID. So I went to a program under PwC, and then I met with a lot of friends and a lot of great youth, and then it was so fun. We started to know each other in the morning, and I do networking with them. They were fun and great to know them, and you know what? We became close until like after until the program finished in the evening. You know what happened? We went to watch Frozen 2 at the cinema after that because we get so close. We got so close at the end of the programs, and then we still keep in touch. Like shout out to my friends Sarah, Fiza, Alia, Adam, Fikri, and Izzat. It was just like so fun. So whenever you join the program, minimum do networking at least with 5 people. Because you don't have energy and time to do networking with all of them, like 30 people, 150, minimum 5. It's quality over quantity. That's all.
So there is tips on how to broaden our network and also at the same time making friends. So let's moving on to our third topic, which is Malaysian Youth Ambassador for SHIP for Southeast Asian and Japanese Youth Program, SEAP. I guess this question is for Brother Yusran. Okay, Brother Yusran, you were the Malaysian ambassador for Southeast Asian and Japan Youth Program. What exactly did you do as an ambassador? I guess it is a big job because of the title itself, ambassador. So what brings you to join it?
Okay, so I have my slides here. Okay, one second. Okay, let me just tell you a brief information about this program. So KBS usually has a number of programs available yearly, because they're the ones who are coordinating the programs that are hosted by other countries. So for example, there is Malaysian Korean exchange program, Malaysian Indonesian exchange program. Out of all the exchange programs, this international program is by far the biggest, and I would say like the top tier, the number one program that you would want to go to, because it's incredible. Like I would say, like the experience is extraordinary. So as Sister Ain said, like I was a Malaysian youth ambassador. What that means was that I was representing not just the youth, but Malaysia itself as well. There's a lot of things that are are expected of you once you are called Malaysian Youth Ambassador, or diorang akan panggil duta kecil. So they expect you to actually portray the the best that you can of your country. So what this means is that they want you to look the best, they want you to speak the best, they want you to interact the best. Basically they want you to showcase the best case of your country. So this picture here, for example, yeah, it's by the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So this is the whole contingent in front of me, and the people that you see at the sides, they're actually a lot of them are alumni, meaning they're from the different batches. This program has been starting since 1978. So it's we have a lot of alumni and thousands even. And the role of these alumni is to help and facilitate the people who are going for the next batch. So we get a lot of training, we get a lot of advice, we get a lot of mentorships, stuff like that. So it's a really big program, and they take it really seriously. And the thing as SAYAP is, it's a ship program. So I'm not sure why Japan is very ship oriented, but it's a unique thing about them as well. So what we do is actually we go on a 52-day program, belaya atas kapal, and stop at different port of calls, which is the countries that are offering to host these participants. So 28, or including the national leader, 29 youths from ASEAN, which is 10 countries, and Japan has more participants, are on this ship. So basically 300 people on the ship, 300 people consisting of people from different nationalities. And the ship is high class. It's literally like a hotel. It's like you're living in a 5-star hotel that is moving, and it's a surreal experience. This is my cabin. I had roommates from Japan and from Cambodia. So for this program, the unique thing about it is that they don't let you stay with your country the whole time. You get split up, which is why you have to have a good fundamental of your country, because if other youths from other countries ask you a question and you don't know about it, it doesn't reflect good as a youth. So there was a lot of training involved in order to get into this program, and the selection process was even harder. We had to go after the application online. We go through the essay, and we put our resume, experience, and stuff like that. If you get selected, we also have a psychology test, but that one's easy, true or false. If you get selected, they'll call you and they'll invite you for a training camp, but I'll explain that later. But the unique thing about this program is that the youth, are left on our own. There is no signal inside the ship. You cannot contact using your phone. There is no Wi-Fi. So we had to be really coordinated. So it was it's a unique thing. And here you can see us celebrating one of our members' birthday when we're in Japan, and we were preparing our flags for the flag cheers. There's tons of activities on board the ship and off board the ship, such as flag cheers, where you actually are on the railing or a tangga of the kapal, and then you synchronize your movements with the flag, and try to create an amazing show for the people. And of course, there's a lot of dancing. This program is a lot of focus on cultural aspect. So we also have National Day presentation. So for this National Day presentation, we have to dance. We have, whatever we want to show about our culture, we show it. But mostly it'll be involving dances. So we had to do a lot of practicing. I had to practice a lot of dances, I tell you. And I was a stick. I was a wooden stick, kayu, when I entered. But then as time went on, as we practiced, we warm up. But at the end of the day, it was a unique experience. I did tarian China and tarian Borneo, and it was a new experience. And you see, we go 100%. We bawa buluh by ourselves, and we wear the traditional costumes, like the very detailed ones, and all of this was provided by the alumni and stuff like that. But a lot of it is also received by ourselves. So you can see here, this is called SG. It's called Solidarity Group. So this program, they split you up into groups, maybe like 3 people from Malaysia in this group, and then 2 people from Cambodia, 3 people from Vietnam. They split you, so they don't want you to be in one country the whole time. This is where we experience the international aspect of it. So, and it's a cool thing because it's like we're a family from a different country. It kind of feels like that. And yeah, like that's amazing food. It's like a 3 times a day meal buffet. You can refill as much as you want. I am guilty of this, but it's like because the food was so good, I gained 5 kgs. Like when I came down, it was like everyone was saying I gained so much weight. It's true because like the food was good and I couldn't get as much exercise in as I wanted. But you have to understand that some people, especially for our country, macam ada yang tak kena dengan rasa kan. So what we did was we snuck in sambal and stuff like that to eat because the food given is it's dia lain tau. It's like Japanese food and they have a different taste. Even the rice itself is different itself. Like I would say, yeah, it's totally different. So yeah, the welcome reception, we share about our culture. Like we have to speak in English. And this is a Vietnam person, like we're trying to show him how to play Batu Seremban. And for one of the homestays, I even wear they allowed me to wear kimono. I think, yeah, was it kimono? Yeah. So yeah, and it's not only fun and games. There's also intellectual discussions, and I was in the group of soft power and youth diplomacy. So we did a lot of things. We talked about international relations. We talked about how other countries try to I won't get into it, but it's very interesting and it's very open as well. So this is the example of the dancing that you can see from. And yeah, cultural exchanges. In the top left corner, I was showing my Vietnam foster mother a gift, a souvenir. Every time we come down from the ship, we stay at a homestay, and they group us with other participating youths. So my roommates back then in Vietnam, it was we have one from Vietnam, one from Philippines, 2 from Philippines, and 1 from Brunei. So it's a new experience, and I would say it opens up your mind because there's a lot of things that I didn't know, and there's a lot of things I had to experience there. For example, they had a dog, right? They had 2 huge dogs. So how do you live in a house with 2 big dogs? So the kena pandai-pandai lah. If you want to ask, I'll answer later. Besides that, yeah, the food, we had to be careful of not eating things that we shouldn't eat, and we have to avoid alcohol. Banyak kali diorang try to persuade me to drink alcohol, but that's where we have to draw the line. As ambassadors, we have to show that our identity as, if you're a Malay, our identity as Muslims, we have to show it. That's part of being an ambassador. And this is the Japanese food from my homestay. It's delicious. And yeah, also one of the port of calls, it was actually in Malaysia. So they stopped in Port Klang, where the former Minister of Youth and Sport, Said Sadiq, came. So we had engagement, and we didn't have to do this, but we did it for reasons I might explain later. But when we go there, it's not just vacation. Okay, we had to work. We had to fulfill responsibilities. Like for us, we got a sponsorship from various things. So we took a lot of sponsorship and we posted on social media. And there was also times when we had to stand up for the flag ceremony. You have to stand up for upwards of 1 hour watching the flag hoisting ceremony, which is wajib, and it's something that is very, very protocol heavy. If you don't have the mental strength for it, like it's very hard. You can faint for this thing. So yeah. How did I get here? I got here, of course, by the selection camp, which was held by KBS. So back then, I think it was in 2019. Yeah, a lot of things that were done there. A lot of debating, a lot of presenting, a lot of team building exercises. Basically, they want to see that you can work as a team. And because I had experience in joining programs that involve teamwork, I was able to show the best side of myself then. But for people who don't have the experience, they may not get it. Remember, over 7,000 applicants for this program for International Youth Exchange. Only 28 youths are chosen, and out of those 28 chosen, only 14 guys or 14 girls. hugely competitive. And I would highly recommend every one of you who are listening to this to join this program. And I wish that you can succeed in all these things. And it involved a lot of training as well. And it's called PDT, pre-departure training. So we stayed at International Youth Center by ourselves, the contingent, and we had to do marching. We had to memorize songs. Back then, it was called Malaysia Bersih because that was the sort of theme song back then for the government. But now it's different. So, and you can see it consists of youths from various backgrounds. We had a second lieutenant, we had a doctor, we had pensyarah, we had a lawyer, we had apa lagi ya? We had students, of course, and we also had pegawai kerajaan. Of course, 4 people from KBS are they have to come with us because they want to make sure that there's people who are working for the country on board so that they can help, things like logistics and stuff. So yeah, that's it for me. If you have any questions, I'll answer later. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Brother Yusran, for a great sharing about SEAP. So now, this question is to Brother Izzat, since we are going to discuss about Korean Government Scholarship Program Scholar, and Brother Izzat is one of the recipients for KGSP. So Brother Izzat, tell us a bit about this award. What does have one to do to be a KGSP scholar? And also the most curious question, how did you become one of the awardees? So please, Brother Izzat.
Hello, Ain?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sure. Because my screen froze. I still see user run slides. So I'm gonna, if you can hear me, then I'm just gonna proceed. Okay, so basically KGSP, it's a government scholarship. It's that's the old name. It's Korean Government Scholarship Program, but currently it is been rebranded and called as GKS, Global Korea Scholarship. So basically, it's a government given by the Korean government. Oh, I have to make a disclaimer. It's South Korea. I'm in South Korea right now. I mean, I'm not in North Korea. So it's a South Korea government. So basically, this program, it is offered 2 times per year. It's offered annually. Um, so the first one is in February or March. That is for postgraduate students, and then for undergraduate students, for SPM leavers or private schools that want to further their undergraduate, their bachelor degree in South Korea, they can apply in September or October. So for those that apply for postgraduate, which is in February or March, the postgraduate student, they will fly to Korea in August or September. Meanwhile, for those students that apply for undergraduate students in September and October, they will fly to Korea in February or January the following year. So this scholarship, they cover a lot of things. First of all, as the scholarship recipient, our tuition fee has been waived, completely free. And then we got free flight tickets when we first came here, and then when we want to go home after graduation. And then we also been given monthly allowance every month. So it's different between postgraduate and undergraduate. But then for me, it's enough, because the tuition fee, which is actually very expensive in Korea, but then it already has been waived, so that the monthly allowance is for our daily expenses, like to pay for the hostel fee and to buy food, buy books, etc., etc., etc. And then yeah, that's it. Anyone can apply. So for postgraduate students in Malaysia, I'm sorry, today is the deadline. For those that doesn't know, you can try again next year. For those that want to further their study in postgraduate, you can try again next year in February or March. For those that want to apply for undergraduate studies, do look forward for the announcement probably in September or October. So yeah, that's a little bit about the scholarship.
Okay, so I hope for those who wants to pursue their study in South Korea can take note on what Brother Izzat had highlighted. So Brother Izzat, why Kyung University? Why not the Sky Universities? You know what I mean? Sky, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, tell us why what was that your choice?
Okay. Okay. So basically, I'm currently taking my Korean language preparation classes at Sokyo University. So I didn't choose Sky. For those that know Sky, you already know what the acronym stands for. It stands for Seoul National University, Korea University, and Yonsei University. So for those that know this acronym, Sky, SKY, you also know the famous drama, Sky Castle. The famous Korean drama, Sky Castle. So you know what happened in Sky Castle, right? So not to say that the drama is there, but the demand is a lot. Like a lot of competitions is there. So like if you ask everyone in the world that knows Sky, they want to apply Sky. So I know about Sky. I also want to apply Sky. But then I did apply for this scholarship in 2019. I applied Sky, but I didn't get it. So I was like, oh, I need to change my strategy. What if I didn't apply for Sky? I applied for another university, that is not Sky. You know. So my strategy is to apply university outside Seoul because the demand of getting accepted in universities located in Seoul are so high because Seoul is a big city and it's famous. Like if you ask people about Korea, they will say Seoul, Busan, Jeju. Seoul, Busan, Jeju. So it's like competitions are there around the world. You're competing with other people around the world. So my strategy is that okay, I'm going to apply university outside Seoul. As long as I'm studying in Korea, doesn't matter. So that was my strategy. That's why I didn't apply for Sky. But and my take is that it doesn't matter where you study, as long as you know how to, take yourself, develop necessary skills that is needed for your career later, and then as long as you study hard, study smart, get good pointer, and you should be fine.
I want to say something. I want to add. I think like Izat doesn't actually, like we went through a lot. Like I heard you went through a lot when you were applying. So it's like I heard
Yeah.
you even created a website and stuff. Is that true?
Yes, so I forgot to mention that when you apply for this scholarship, when you apply for big scholarship, like when you apply for scholarship under this current government, or you apply for Japanese government scholarship, or even to Harvard, etc., they're required to write a lot of things like personal statement, and then to give us reason, to give them reasons like why you apply for it, blah 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 blah. So uh, I thank you to Brady Usran. He was there when I applied for it. He was the grammar Nazi. He was the how should I say, like my press secretary. To make sure that what I wrote, how to compose sentences, how to present myself in words, to attract to those people that are in charge of this scholarship. So it was very, I should say, difficult, and I must say that it's like a blessing I didn't get in 2019. So I didn't get when I tried to apply it first in 2019. I didn't get it, and I was so frustrated. But then that gave me a chance to work at the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Malaysia for 1 year because I didn't get it. So I applied the scholarship in 2019 in February and I didn't get it. So I started working at the Tourism Ministry of Malaysia in August 2019 until August 2020. So in 2020 February, I tried to apply again, and back then I can write down in the application that I have working experience. Currently, I'm working at this ministry, blah blah. So it's such a, how should I say, like a big difference, like in 2019 I didn't even have a working experience. I was interning at my university, and then fast forward a year later, I was already working, and there's a new things that I can write down. I wrote down about the programs that I joined, my vision and mission, etc., etc., what I like about Korea, etc., etc. So, my advice to all out there, if you're applying for something, scholarship, or if you want to do for something, Just because you fail to achieve it this once, you can try again next time. If you fail 2 times, you can try again 3 times. I know one scholar, Malaysian scholar of this government scholarship. He applied, I think, 3 times already. Like last year was the third time and he got it. So I was like, wow, the dedication and the determination. He applied first time, he didn't get it. And then he applied the second time, he didn't get it. So he took a like hiatus, a break from applying it, and he focus on his career, and then he wanted to try apply again last year and he got it, and he's with me in Korea under the scholarship. So my advice, if you want to apply for scholarship, or I know if you want to apply for a job or anything in life, just go for it. If you fail, try again, try and try.
Okay. Uh, so I heard, Radiza, that you had prepared a video, 3 videos for us about the
Sure.
insight of yeah, about the insight of your life in South Korea. So we will play the video right now.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
play the video.
넌 내게 왔어 day and night 우리 그 거리만큼 먼 길을 돌아 만나진 걸꼭 안
Okay, so that first video was so if any of you are a fan of K-drama and if you watch Startup, you should know the location. It's a filming location for the drama Startup, the famous one of my favorite drama last year. It's a scene where Han Ji-pyong, I'm team Han Ji-pyong, by the way. So Han Ji-pyong, when he first met this old lady, this grandmother, at the corn dog shop. So yeah, that's the thing that I do here when I study here. I go to drama filming location. Yeah, it was so nice. Okay, we can go to the second video.
끝이 보이지 않아 출구가 있긴 한가발이 뜨지지 않아 잠시 두 눈을 감아 여기 내 손을 잡아줘
Okay, so the second video is me went to BTS pop-up store. So I hope, no, I don't hope. I mean, like maybe people, some of the viewers here know BTS and the famous K-pop band. So I went there at the BTS pop-up store. So what I want to say is that okay, because I work at the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture Malaysia before, so this is one to share regarding the tourism industry. So Korea is very great at soft power. You know why? Because in their drama, they promote their famous tourist location, etc., etc., etc. When the drama became famous, it all started with the, how should I say, autumn in my heart, something like that. And I think most of the viewers cannot relate because it's an old drama. So like startup, right? Like startup or any new drama. When people watch it and the viewers feels like, oh, I want to go to Korea and visit the place. I want to go to Korea and go to visit the shooting place. So the Korean industry, the Korean people, they are so, how should I say, very creative in promoting the places in their own country. They do most of the drama they should do shooting in their country. And when when back then before COVID, people got to travel, right? So when people visit Korea, they just not went to the famous place. They also went to the famous drama shooting places, like any kind of K drama famous one. They went there to visit and take photo, recreate the scene, etc. So how should I say? The
Brother,
filming
is that
industry.
even your university is a famous shooting site, right? For K drama?
Yes, yeah. My career university, Sokyo University, it was a filming location for Penthouse season 1 and season 2. So if you watch Penthouse, you will recognize some of the places shooting there. So we can go to the last video.
My home for all seasons, so come on, let's go. Go below zero and hide from the sun. I love you forever. We'll have some fun. Let's at the North Pole and live happily. Please don't cry no tears now.
So that was the last video. It was the first day, I guess, during winter last year in December. We Malaysians and Indonesian with my fellow friends, we were so excited to see snow because yeah, we don't have snow in Malaysia except at Genting Island, the fake snow. So we were so excited, we were so excited, and yeah, as a person that grew up in Nusantara, uh, tropical countries, we need to adapt with the weather. When I first came here, last August 2020, it was late summer. It then changed to fall, autumn, and then went to winter. My skins became itchy for quite some times. But then, we took medicines or put some oil, etc. It should be fine. So I just want to share what it looks like to studying abroad, and this is to motivate any viewers, SPM viewers or university students. If you want to have this kind of experience, you can have it too. You can experience it too. Study hard, study smart, and work for your dream, and go apply for that scholarship. And yeah, fighting.
So thank you, Brady, that for the words, and also thank you to Brady Usman. So I hope that videos give us a little bit inspiration and also a little bit insight of how does it looks like studying abroad. So right now, the last topic of our discussion, which is working in government ministries. Since both of you had experience working in government ministries, what did you do in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, respectively? Tell us about your job scope and also about your experience.
Is it okay if I go first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I have my slides again with me. Just give me a second. Okay, so basically I was in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or in other words, Wisma Putra. It's a great experience. I was doing internship there actually. Like I had my industrial training there for almost 4 months, if I remember correctly. So basically, it's a good place if you want to get an exposure into not only the government but for international affairs as well. I was put in the ASEAN Malaysian National Secretariat. Basically, it's like the one who organizes everything related to ASEAN. And so I did, I did stuff like join international meetings, did reports, secretarial work, things like that. It's normal. Like I facilitated programs. I handled the venue and stuff. But to me, it was boring. So what did I do? So I tried to go the extra mile. So this is something that I wanted to share with you guys. If you go for something, you don't have to be the best at it, but do your best at it. What I did was, the moment that I got a chance, I met the minister. He is YB Hishamuddin Hussein. He is our Minister of Foreign Affairs. So at this time, like it was during CMCO, I believe. We held the first Jumaat in Wisma Putra. So it was nerve wracking because there are so many people surrounding him. But and it was nervous when you're in front of a VIP. The atmosphere is different. But what I did was I just approached, and I asked for a picture. So thankfully, I got it. I also went out of my way to network with as many people as I can find. So on the first day, to the left, these are called intern cadet. Basically, there are PTD officers in training. They're doing their internship on the same day that I entered. They also entered. So I made it a point to actually, befriend them. I wasn't even supposed to be in the same room, but somehow I ended up in the same room. And then I just talked with them. I shared my contact details. I asked for the Instagram. They asked for mine. So until today, we still keep in touch. And also we have the Fellow Perdana. So Fellow Perdana is a program handled by the Ministry of Youth and Sports as well. It's basically an internship program under the minister, bawah menteri, yeah. So yeah, I also networked with people from the foreign minister's office ataupun pegawai khas. So these are the people who are working directly under the minister. So to the right, this is someone, I won't tell you his name, but he is the media officer of Hishamuddin Hussein. So he got to know me, I got to know him. You know, I was very impressed with his work ethic. You know, I mentioned it, and you know, for now, like we follow each other on Instagram. You know, like sometimes we can't we reply each other's stories and stuff like that. But it's something that I would say everyone can do, but it takes people's efforts and guts to do it. I also, you know, when I was watching people having special officers, I pretended to become a special officer to my bosses, and this is also at the advice of Izzat, by the way. Like he mentored me throughout the program, and credit goes to him as well. But I became a special officer for my bosses to the point where, you know, like I developed a rapport with him. I developed a good relationship with him, so that when I wanted to join the 37th ASEAN Summit, I would be able to get it. And okay, sorry. This is also a minister. I think like some of you might be able to, you know who he is. He is MP for Gombak, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, even though like I was doing an internship, we did do a lot of work. I had to stay up all night on some days, you know, like doing the work because it was so busy. But it paid off. I asked personally my Datuk DG, Datuk Ahmad Rozian. He was our biggest boss lah. Dia pangkat dia Timbalan Ketua Setiausaha. So TKSU level, high boss. I personally requested to him that I wanted to join, you know, I wanted to contribute to the ASEAN Summit. Back then, sepatutnya tarikh internship dah habis dah. I was supposed to finish, but then I requested, I developed a good relationship with him, and then I requested because I know that this is a once in a lifetime experience. So it paid off. And this is a big deal, you know, because ramai pegawai tak dapat this opportunity. But because like I was able to go the extra mile, I was given this opportunity. And, you know, like some pegawai, they were told to, you know, like basically to cut it short, I was given a priority for this program when I was just the intern, just the trainee. So it was a huge thing. I even got to attend the meeting live with the minister on the left. If you see in the middle of the picture, that's Hishamuddin Hussein. So I was there taking notes for the meeting. I attended the meetings, and this is like a view of what it looks like. You know, like when YBs do press release and everything. It's crazy. It was huge, and also it involved the Prime Minister. I also, yeah, it was a huge thing lah for me. And to be honest, this thing tak perlu pun sebenarnya. Macam I didn't have to go this far, but I wanted to go this far. And I hope that, you know, like with me sharing this, it inspires you people, like you youths out there, to go further than what is expected, to go beyond what is necessary, because a lot of things open up for you once you do. I was, you know, I had the blessing of being invited by the Prime Minister's office for my contribution to the summit. I think it's you know, it's a good feat lah for just an intern. It's about Datuk Gigi, my boss. He specifically requested my name to be on the list of invitations. Ada banyak lagi pegawai yang tak dapat sebenarnya. But because, you know, like we practice PR, and I hope we can talk about PR and networking after this. I did a lot of PR. I, you know, did a lot of things that Izzat told me that I should do, and you know, this was the result. An intern getting invited by the Prime Minister's office to a dinner hosted by the Prime Minister. It was awesome. I mean, imagine the Prime Minister making a speech for you. Yeah, that's what I was able to experience, and it's something that you guys can do as well. So in summary, becoming great, it means that you have to go beyond normal. You have to go, you know, like do something that other people don't do. If you think that like, you know, like, oh, I got a picture with the minister. Okay, so people can get a picture with the minister. So what? So, you know, like you have to be creative. It makes you go the extra mile of wanting to do it. and you have to actually put in the work, of course, lah. And it's something that people don't do. Okay, I think that's all for me for now. I'll give it to Izzat.
Okay. First of all, I'm sorry that I don't have slides. I'm quite busy with my Korean classes this week. This is the start of our spring semester. So learning new language is not that easy. So I'm very sorry for not having slides. Like I have a lot of photos in my Google Photos. And okay, just imagine like SpongeBob said. Okay. So what first the thing that I want to share, especially with the viewers. I hope that the viewers are mostly, I guess, they are mostly university students or SPM leavers. So this might work for them. So first, I want to talk about my internship. So I did my internship at the Office of International Affairs at IIUM, International Islamic University Malaysia, Gombak campus. So at International Affairs Office, the office in charge of taking care of international students, like IIUM, UIA, we have a lot of foreign students. So taking charge of their visa, foreign lecturers visa, and then for those students that want to apply for for exchange program, etc., etc. So it's international matter. So to be honest, I did apply to other places as well, like Petronas, Petroscience, and private company, KPMG, another corporate, like private company, etc., etc. But I didn't get it. But I also applied to International Affairs Office, and Alhamdulillah, I got it there. It was weird, somehow I felt like people are judging me, people look down at me because it was like, oh, like he can go to international programs, he can do this program, blah blah blah, but he only did his internship like at his own university, not like at corporate company outside there, blah 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 blah. So at first when I start my internship there, I was like, so I don't know. I feel like people judging me, Yeah, like people shows that, oh, this is my internship place at the tower of this corporate company, blah 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 blah. So I was like, and then as the time goes on, I believe that, oh, it's people risky, like everyone they have their own opportunity, and it works different way for everyone, So as the time goes by, I realized that, okay, so what I did at my intern office, like Yusran said, we make use of what we have. So it's not a corporate company, it's not an international big company. It's a office under my own university, So when I did my internship there, I know what are the skills that I want. Like I love public relation, I love international relations. So I want to involve in that field one day after graduation. So I utilize to the fullest, and I ask around to my officers, my colleagues, my seniors, what can I do, So I involved in the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding ceremony between my university and other international universities outside Malaysia, and then handling applications of students that want to go for exchange program outside Malaysia, etc. Incoming students, foreign students that want to do exchange program in Malaysia at IIU, etc., etc. So those skills, little did I know, I used that skill when I land my first job at the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Malaysia in August 2019. So I finished my internship in May 2019. So fast forward in August 2019, I landed a job there at the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture Malaysia, short form for MOTAC. So there, okay, I'm going to tell you a story of how my first day worked. It was, I think, 21st August 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So on my first day, I thought like I was just going to have a easy peasy day, like, hi, my name is Izzat. I thought I was going to have a tour, like where's the office, where's the pantry, where's the cafe, where's the toilet, and where's my seat, where's my table, etc. So I thought that was my whole day. But no, turns out, I was just introduced to my colleagues, and then my boss, Mr. Surya Kumar. He is a PTD officer. He brought me to 18th floor, the highest floor at the Ministry of Tourism, which is the floor for minister's office. So he brought me there, and he said that, oh, I want you to take minute meeting. So I was like, huh? So I was like, it was my first day, of working. So I was like, okay, okay, okay. So I just bring my notes, and then I went inside the meeting room, and there I saw the former Deputy Minister of Ministry of Arts and Culture, Ministry of Tourism, Arts of Culture Malaysia, YB Bakhtiar back then. He's the former one, the former government. So having a meeting with US ASEAN Business Chamber, and I wrote down the minute meeting, etc. So from there, I was like, okay, here we go. The transition from student to a worker to an employee. So it's totally different, like the pressure is different. Like when we were a student, we have homework, etc. So when we make mistakes, the pressure is that, okay, tomorrow the teacher will tell me what is the mistake, correction, etc, etc. So but when you're working, the pressure is really big, like when you make a mistake, it will not cause you, it will cause the whole department, it will cause the whole workplace. So luckily,
Brother,
sure, sure.
sorry to interrupt you, but we are actually at time where we're supposed to have our Q&A session.
Sure, sure. Can I wrap up in 1 minute?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, my conclusion is that for those that are still don't do their internship, find internship placement whereby they will provide you the necessary skills that you want. So, like I said before this, I want skills that can provide me and equip me to do well in an international matter. So that's why, and then when I did my internship there, then I landed my job at the Ministry of Tourism under the International Affairs Office. So, like do internship, or, find, even though if you do internship at the other place, find program, etc., learn YouTube, etc., etc., for the necessary skills that you want for your future career. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Izzat. That's just like a saying that when life gives you lemon, you turn it into lemonade. We make use of everything, and Brother Izzat just experienced something that actually give him lemonade in life. So right now we are going into Q&A session. We will display a question from our viewers. So the first question is, do we have question? Okay, first question from Ait. Thank you, Ait. Is there a difference between university organized / uni-based events and outside events, macam program by NGO or general public, etc.? So who will answer? Ait.
Okay, you don't want to answer, or can I go for it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so okay, the difference between university organized / uni-based events and outside events, macam program by NGO general public, is that the organizer. I'm not being cynical. I'm not being cynical. So when you see a program, inside your campus, and first you need to know who's the organizer. So for example, okay, this event is organized by this faculty. So it means that this is, a faculty event, and also university event, because the faculty belongs to the university. That's how bureaucracy works. So outside events is that the event organized by NGO, doesn't relate it to university. So I want you guys to not only join university programs, but also outside programs, because that will uh expand your networking. So I started with joining a lot of programs in university first, and then as the times goes by, I developed my soft skill on how to do networking, etc., etc., and then I have the guts to join program outside. So during my 4 years of study in bachelor degree, I joined around 30 or 30 plus university based program inside my university, and I joined around 13 international program, 13 international program throughout the 4 years of my bachelor degree. So yeah, you can search for it. Like I said, I hope after this, Yusran will give the list of the screenshot, the social media that you can join to find out programs. Maybe Ain can post to the social media later, so they can find out about the programs that they can join.
I will do that. Okay, so the next question From Nurul Iza Ramandi. I really want to know how you both cope with assignments and your mental health. I want to know too, when is the time you feel that you want to come out of from your comfort zone? Thank you. So maybe Brother Yusran can answer this question.
Okay, yeah, I think I would be like the right person to answer this question. I would say that, okay, and I'll be open with you guys on this, okay? There was times when things, like were too much. Things were overwhelming for me. So it got to the point where it affected my mental health. So what that means is that it affected your normal functioning. It means, like the mental strength that you had before this, the intelligence, the way that you're able to cope with stress. It affects all of that. So mental health is something that is important. And like I actually have a slide, but I don't think we have enough time to say it. But what I wanted to tell you is that if you feel that your mental health is being affected, then it's okay to not be okay. For me, right, personally for me, I felt that like when I was having too many responsibilities and I felt that like there was too many things on my plate that I couldn't go on, like worst case scenario, just say that, like just explain it. You say that, you're having trouble and you don't think you can fulfill this commitment anymore. Like it's okay for you to do that. It's best if you are able to. This is what I mean by like you have to understand yourself, and this is also what joining programs allow you to do. It enables you to know what your weaknesses are, so that you can be able to predict what you can handle and what you cannot handle. I'll be clear with you guys. I went to counseling sessions a lot of times. I've even went to I've went to therapy even, and it's no problem. I would say like, okay, this little secret, and I don't share this with people, but I want to give you an idea. I was diagnosed with OCD. So what that means with obsessive compulsive disorder, it's a variant type where I become obsessive with my thoughts. So I think too much. Everything, like even simple things, my mind tends to overcomplicate things. So at one point, like it got to the point where I can't even sleep. The task, responsibilities, and everything was on my mind, and I couldn't sleep. So what I did was I had to take a step back, and try to find a remedy for it. If you have a fever, you go to a doctor. There's no shame. If your mental health is affected, you go to a doctor or you seek help. Mental health should not become stigmatized. This is the misconception that we have in our society today. It makes us feel like if we have some problems with our mental health, that it's a sign of weakness. When no, it's just the same thing as having a fever, and it's something that you need to treat. So in terms of the question, how do you cope with it? There's lots of ways that I cope with it. I even go boxing sometimes to release tension. But I would say that if it gets to, I sort of understand my commitments. If I cannot do it, I say no to it. And if I have to go through it, I push through it. But I try to, have support systems, having good friends, having even, a counselor to talk to. It's very helpful, and it's something I highly recommend. There's a lot more I can go with this, but I think that we can go, to the next question.
Wait, can I add a bit?
Sure.
Okay, so I want to add the questions: how should I divide, times between academics and curriculum stuff, etc. So I was quite busy during my studies, with juggling with study academics and as well as joining a lot of programs, etc., etc. So what I did was I find my support system, my family and my close friends. So and then I divide my time. For when I moved to Pago campus, there's IIUM, UIA Pago campus in Johor, for those that do not know about it. So a lot of the times I had programs in KL, Kuala Lumpur. So, I went back and forth, in the weekends to KL and then to Pago, Johor. And then of course, I need to do my homework and assignments during the weekend. So Alhamdulillah, thanks to God, I had a lot of amazing friends that understands, my struggle. So like when we have discussion with my friend, like group discussion, so I don't want to be a free rider, those the people that doesn't do anything, any single job in the work. So I told my friend that, okay, I have a program during the weekend, and I have to go to KL. Can you guys split the work, like, because I cannot attend the meeting during the weekend. So they said, okay, as long as I do my work. So like they take this part and then I take this part. We divide. There should not be excuse. Oh, I'm so busy with curriculum activity. Then you be selfish. Like, why you join that? Academic is the first one priority, right? So you need to, if you want it to go side by side, you have to go for it. So that's what I did. I tried to tolerate with my friend. Okay, can you give the part that I need to do so that I can do while I was in KL, etc. Or I can do, when I go back to Pago, and they are so understanding. So that's how you do it. And then, like Yusran said, I want to highlight it. Mental health is a thing that people need to know and people need to learn nowadays. It's Alhamdulillah, like people get this awareness about it, and yeah, like Yusran said, physical health is people take care of it because it's something that you see, when you hurt or when you fall, people can see the blood, etc., etc. But dealing with mental health, it's in your mind, so people cannot see that. So we need more awareness about it. And if you have mental health problems, seek for help. Don't feel ashamed. Talk to counselor, talk to your friends, talk to the professional, etc., etc. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, just one last comment. What's it called? It's like, yeah, I've had a lot of times when like my mental health was really low, but that does not stop me from getting invited by the Prime Minister. That's all I wanted to say.
Is that a flex?
Kind of.
Kind of flex. So regarding the mental health, I guess I am experiencing one right now. But what I did, how I cope with it is, I'm trying to make myself busy, and also I am distancing myself from outside work, like from friends, but only keep not the reals one, but only keep the ones that can give support emotionally, but not physically, because I don't want to interact with friends right now, except for family lah, because I'm living with family right now, so I cannot distance myself with them. So I guess that's how my coping mechanism. And I hope our viewers also not let their mental health affect their daily life, and especially their academic. So do we have another question? Let's move on to another.
Yeah, wait,
Yeah.
one more time, like 15 seconds, quick. Okay, I want to add. Nowadays we live in a modern world, right, where social media is a must, etc., etc. People want to update what's going on in their life, WhatsApp story, IG story, Snapchat, whatever. So I want to say that it's okay to take a hiatus from social media for a while for your own mental health. You don't need to feel missed out. I don't see the update of where my friend went to shopping, dating with who, etc., etc. No, your mental health is first thing, your own priority. So I want to share this with people, with the viewers. Never ever compare yourself with others. The only person that you can compare yourself with is you in the past. For example, like what did I did yesterday? So today that I can improve. Never ever compare yourself with others. Like if you know Harley Quinn movie, there's a famous quote by Harley Quinn that I want to share with you guys, is that in the movie Harley Quinn, I think last year maybe, Harley Quinn movie, the girl asked her, Harley Quinn, I want to be like you. And then Harley Quinn say that if you want to be like me, you have to be a psychotic psychiatrist that has PhD, and then that fell in love with Joker, the mad guy, and then become a criminal. So what she meant by that is that if you say that you want to be like someone, like you have to go through what he or she went through since he or she born. So that's why I really hate it when someone said, "Oh, Izzat, I want to be like you." No, never ever say that, because I don't think that's a compliment. Because for me, it's like you belittle yourself. Never ever say that you want to be like me, because you don't be like me. Be you, a better version of you. Because if you want to be like me, you have to go through the things that I've been, through, that I've been faced through. So it's not fair. Like I grew up in this family, this environment, etc. So we don't have same background, so it's not fair to say that, oh, you can be like me, you can do like me. No, no, no. Be you, make use of what you have, compare you with the old you, and then you will not feel like overthinking, etc. Don't compare yourself with others. It's being cruel to yourself.
Thank you, Brother Izzat, from the wise words. So right now, we going to last questions of our discussion today. Do we have any more questions? Okay, from Muhammad Ilfan Kamal Zuhairi. Do you guys have any advice to the junior Encom students plus KLM students to benefit their life in university? #Idola.
Okay, can I answer that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, my
I think
answer
both
to
of you
this,
can answer this.
sure. Ironically, right? Ironically, to have the best time of your life in university is to go outwards from the university. So for me, it would be to not just stay in class. This is your chance. Use it as a platform, because not everyone is a student all the time. You can get into a lot of programs but with the title of a student. So please do not just stick around in class. Also, because right now, especially for Encom lah, like our degrees is not specialized. It's not like engineering. So we have to, do a bit more effort, because it's a highly competitive world right now. Back then, it may be okay for you to have a degree, but right now, for me personally, like from my observation, the minimum requirement now is like for you to have a degree and for you to have networking. And you do that by going out, by like having lots of people, like that you meet from everywhere. That's I think that's essential for now. Yeah, that's all for me.
Can I answer too? Sure, okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, I wanna let people know that we should brag about our experience, not about our items, brag about the experience, invest in yourself to have experience. Like, oh, I have experience in joining this program, blah blah blah. I have experience in surviving in the jungle. I have experience in swimming, blah 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 blah. As a people, as a person, we can grow, we can grow to be a better person, etc., as a human when we have a lot of experience. So make mistakes, join a lot of things, know a lot of people. Only then you can have experience. So that's why don't be mahasiswa 3K. Like join stuff, join online programs, meet new people, learn from them. Like contact your seniors, your alumni to ask for advice, etc., because experience is the precious things in life. And then like Yusran said, Encom, right? So Encom, it's a short form for English for International Communication. I want you guys to know that our courses is very, this is applied to Malcolm and Alcom to anticipation. Our courses is designed very well. It is partially linguistic, for Encom or Malcolm or Alcom. We learn about the linguistic part, right? The grammar, blah blah blah, and we also learn about communication. So some of my batchmates end up being an English teacher, English lecturer, and some of them went to the corporate world, becoming work with the corporate world, international organization like UNICEF, UN, and some of them work with politics in the politics field. Like my former roommate, he is now working with the chief minister of Johor, and I also went into politics. Like I work with the minister of tourism back then in Malaysia. So yeah, it's all about what our passion is. So throughout the 4 years of degree, all the subjects, learn it, and then feel it, and then like discover. So the way you need to discover is that join programs as well. Like I developed my passion in public relations because I joined a lot of programs, and then I do a lot of readings and watching movies, YouTube videos about public relations, and I fell in love with it. So yeah, public relations is one of the most skills that everyone should have. And yeah, networking. This is fun fact. I got a job at the Ministry of Tourism because of my networking. Like I knew someone back then when I was studying in IUM, and then after I graduate, that person knows that I already graduated, and he called me and asked, "Oh, do you want to work in Putrajaya with the at the ministry?" And I said, "Okay, why not?" So yeah, networking is important. Oh, by the way, I graduated with 3.49. So don't assume that, Brady is at Misty, 4.0. That's why he got all of this. No, 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 no. I got 3.49. Second class upper or something. Yeah, second class upper. It's all about how you take yourself. I'm not saying, I'm not bashing 4.0 pointer student. No, no. I'm saying is that there's always a chance for students, Like I know my limit. I couldn't get 4 flat. So I know my limit. My limit was, I can maintain above 3.0, but never 4.0. So I equip myself with the necessary skills. So thank you.
Yeah, one last line. Guys, to all of you who are watching, especially to Encom and our juniors, we're sharing all this stuff not because we want to show off, okay? We want to tell you that this is what you are capable of doing. We want to show you that you are capable of doing even more than us. I pun yang tak pandai bahasa Melayu sangat pun dapat sampai tahap tu. So what more can you guys do? All it takes is some effort and some guidance maybe. You guys can do more than us. Trust me.
Yeah, so during these studies, find yourself, discover your passion. Jangan waktu dah final year baru nak tahu what actually I mean. No, try a lot of things. You will not know what your true passion is if you don't try things. So try things, join a lot of programs, different kind of field of program, etc., and learn. Kalau join program tu kan, jangan nak jadi registration bureau je because just typing. No, do a lot of things. Like I do talking by being the master of ceremony MC. And then I do PR by joining the public relations
It's 10:30.
protocol bureau. Okay, so bye.
Okay, so I guess that is a wrap up for our discussion today. I would like to say thank you, 1,000 thank you to both our speakers, Brother Yusran and Brother Izzat. And I am sorry for the time limit that we had. We are actually 10:31 right now, but I am sorry for the time limit. I wish we could have a lot of time to talk about a lot of things. But yeah, thank you so much, and also thank you to our viewers. But there's a thing. The viewers can find our speakers in social media, in Instagram. For Brother Yusran, his user. Can I say your username, Brother Yusran?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. His username is @yusran.rosemine. So that is Brother Yusran punya IG handle. While for Brother Izzat, can I say it too?
Well, you already wrote it down, so why not?
So for there are the username for both our speakers. If you have any questions related to academies or curriculum or network or public relations, just go ahead and ask them. They are welcoming. They are very welcoming. They are willing to help you. I can guarantee that because they helped me throughout this session, even before the talk. So yeah, go ahead and follow them, and also please, like what they say, make use of whatever we have right now, whatever resources that we have right now, because we do not know what will the future guarantee to us. So at least equip ourselves with the skills that will be needed in the future. So I think that's all from us tonight. Thank you so much for attending this talk. Thank you to both our speakers, especially to Brother Izzat. It's actually 11:30, right? Sekarang dekat Korea.
Yes,
So
it's 11:30.
it's almost midnight there. And also to Brother Yusran, thank you so much. And I guess we will see you guys later. So thank you and have a great night.
Can we take photo? Three of us?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, who's gonna take it?
Oh, okay. It's okay. I'm gonna print screen it. Okay, 1, 2. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Done.
안녕하세요.
Okay, so
잘 가요.
thank you and have a great night, everyone.